Ivan Toney's Brentford return, why he was banned, £100 million transfer talk and captaincy. Brentford striker Ivan Toney is set to captain the side on his return from an 8-month ban, and a lot has happened during the England international's time away. It's been a long time coming, but Ivan Toney will finally make his long-awaited return to a Premier League pitch this weekend. The Brentford striker began his 8-month suspension at the tail end of the 2022-23 season. At the time, the countdown to the 17th of January and the end of the ban will have surely felt huge. Now, though, he's available again and made no secret of his excitement at being able to get back out on the pitch. With Brentford hosting Nottingham Forest on Saturday, and Toney set to captain the side, few would be surprised to see him make a scoring return. During Toney's 8 months away, though there has been plenty of speculation about his longer-term future. The ban. It was the 17th of May when Toney's suspension was made official. He had been charged with 232 breaches of betting regulations back in November 2022, but continued to represent the Bees and ended the season with 20 league goals, third behind Harry Kane and Erling Haaland in the overall standings. Ivan Toney has been suspended from all football and football-related activity with immediate effect for 8 months, fined £50,000 and warned as to his future conduct for breaches of the FA's betting rules, the FA said in a statement at the time. The Brentford FC forward was charged with 262 breaches of FA Rule E8 in total between the 25th of February 2017 and the 23rd of January 2021. The FA subsequently withdrew 30 of these breaches and he admitted to the remaining 232. His sanctions were subsequently imposed by an independent regulatory commission following a personal hearing. He is permitted to return to training only with his club for the final 4 months of his suspension starting from the 17th of September 2023. The Independent Regulatory Commission's written reasons for these sanctions will be published in due course, and the FA will wait to review them before commenting further. Brentford, in response, said they were waiting for the written reasons before responding. The written reasons arrived in a 25-page document before the end of the month. It mentioned a number of bets the former Newcastle and Northampton striker had placed against his own club, albeit none in matches he was involved in. Of the 13 bets, 11 were against Newcastle whilst Mr. Toney was on loan at another club, the document read. The other 2 bets related to a game between Wigan v Aston Villa whilst the player was on loan at Wigan but he was not part of the squad. A further 15 of the 126 bets or instructions to bet were placed by Mr. Toney to score in 9 different matches, all of which he played in. All of those 15 bets or instructions to bet were initiated by Mr. Toney at a time when it would not have been public knowledge that he was starting or playing in the fixture. At the time, Toney pledged to speak soon with no filter. The 27-year-old has given interviews in the time since, albeit on a variety of matters. Toney's early reaction. Toney spoke about the ban during a trip to the British Grand Prix in July. At the time, his return was still some way away, but he was already looking to the future. It's been good, of course it's been good, he told Sky Sports when asked about the messages of support he received. But I'm a grown man, I take it on the chin and move forward. It's all good. I know I'll come back better than before. Ivan is a positive guy with a strong mindset, so I'm not in doubt about that, Bees boss Thomas Frank added. He has a very good family and good friends around him to support him. Of course, me, the club and everyone would like to support him as well. I think it's good for him, for the mental health, which we need to consider, that he's out with the boys, today. Later, though, Toney's discussion of his future in football would also extend to a potential move away from Brentford. He had been linked with moves before the ban, and that has continued to be the case, while Toney himself addressed the subject when appearing on the Diary of a CEO podcast in August. Everyone wants to play at the top of the tree, he said. Not that Brentford aren't there, but everyone wants to play for these big clubs and compete for trophies. If a chance was to come along, I would be silly not to look into it. The manager knows that I want to play at the highest level possible, and whenever that time comes, so be it. My time at Brentford has been probably the best of my career. The next club I go to will be the right club. I am a Liverpool fan my whole life. I have liked Arsenal from young, how they play and how passionate their fans are. But I'm a Liverpool boy, Liverpool fan at heart. I liked Dimitar Berbatov. I liked watching United a lot when Berbatov was there, too. Brentford's struggles and transfer talk. Arsenal and Chelsea are among the clubs with the strongest links to Toney this term, and with good reason. The former have lost ground in their title challenge thanks in part to strikers Gabriel Jesus and Ed Nketiah scoring just 8 league goals between them, while the latter have been without summer signing and theoretical goal threat Christopher Nkunku for almost the entire campaign. Brentford, however, are understandably reluctant to sell. They scored in 10 of their first 11 games, sitting 9th in the table after beating West Ham in early November, but 7 defeats from the next 8 have left them looking over their shoulders in a relegation battle. Part of the issue has been the unavailability of other players. Top scorer Bryan Mbeumo has missed the last 4 games after picking up an injury at Brighton, while Yoane Wissa is away at the Africa Cup of Nations. Mbeumo and Wissa have contributed 11 of Brentford's 23 league goals between them, and there's a hope Toney can make up for the loss of the 2 frontmen. He scored in a Brentford B game in October, his first football in 150 days, and has shown plenty of sharpness while racking up friendly appearances during his road to a first-team return. Toney's period away from the pitch also saw him move to Jonathan Barnett's stellar agency, though, prompting transfer talk. It may need to wait until the summer, though, with the Bees reportedly demanding £100 million for the man they are relying on to fire them clear of danger. £100 million plus. Frank said over the summer. What would you pay for a striker that guarantees you 20 plus goals? And this is 20 goals for a mid-table club. What can he do in a bigger club? Ahead of his return, Toney spoke exclusively to Mirror Football about what lies ahead. I'm hungry. Hungry and excited, he said. Being out for so long, especially when you don't have an injury, is hard. I'm hungry to get back on the pitch and do what I enjoy doing. Any suggestions he will be rusty on his return have to be taken in the context of his scoring exploits during the last 8 months. Recently, that included a hat-trick for Brentford B against Southampton's under-23 side, and, while Premier League defences will provide a tougher test, there is plenty for B's supporters to be excited about. I know that there are a lot of people thinking, can he do this, or can he do that, or how's he gonna be when he gets back, he added, recognizing he has unfinished business after so long away. I know what I'm capable of, so I guess when I get onto the pitch I'll just do what I do best. He also spoke of the support he has received from teammates over the last 8 months, making particular mention of captain Christian Norgard. Toney wasn't even allowed to return to training until September, but Norgard has been regularly offering support. He sat me down and was like, "How are you? How are you, in yourself? Is everything okay?" Toney revealed. And that meant a lot. For somebody to actually sit me down and ask me a question. Because I feel that my kind of personality is kind of strong. I normally always am this bubbly person. For someone to actually sit you down and ask you actually, how are you? It meant a lot and showed that he actually cared, along with all my other teammates. Setting the stage. Understandably, most of the questions for Frank during his pre-match press conference were about Toney. That's where the manager confirmed Toney would be wearing the armband against Forest, while shedding more light on some things fans might not have been aware of. As I said earlier in these conferences, it's 99% something, that he will stay here, but football is crazy, you never know what will happen tomorrow, Frank said. He's committed to helping the team, that's all that's on his mind. He wants to stay here, he wants to help the team. No, none at all, offers. In any partnership, you don't owe but are committed to each other. We're committed to him, he's committed to us. Toney's goals helped Brentford finish 9th last season, and he'll have fond memories of the last home meeting with Forest. It was then that he scored his last goal before the ban, equalising in the 82nd minute before Josh Da Silva scored an even later winner. He'd surely be delighted by a similar outcome this time around, but for some at Brentford it will be enough just to have their leading man back in the side. The goals will surely come between now and May, and Toney will be as desperate as anyone to make up for lost time. Hit that subscribe button, press all. Share with a friend. Leave a comment.